It's Elite POV, coming live to your area on twitch.tv.
Let's fucking go!
We are your number one place for everything in the world of all elite wrestling. And just remember, when you're with us, you'll always be elite.
Yo, it's clear to see when you open up your feed that ain't nobody better than Elite POV. We bring the heat to your screen every week, cause ain't nobody better than Elite POV. So understand every time that we speak that ain't nobody better than Elite POV. Our 3 letters is all you'll ever need, cause ain't nobody better than Elite POV. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Elite POV, where it's podcast time, and you know what that means. I am one of your hosts, Phil Cataldo, but you can call me Philium, alongside The Draw, Jackie Rodriguez. What is up?
What's up, everyone? I have had a very long week, but Thursday has become my favorite day of the week. We are all 4 of us here tonight, so let's get hyped in the chat.
And on the ones and twos, we have the producer Hoot, the Canadian Prince, Kyle Masters. What is up?
I'm doing all right. Glad we got to all 4 of us together since my debut for this show today. So pumped for this. Here talks me Dub. It's been a hell of a week so far. News-wise, interesting. Not really a lot to go over, but I'm glad we had Winter is Coming yesterday. I'm just excited to talk about it. I'm so pumped. We're running a lot of momentum here in the show, and I can't wait to keep going, guys. Make sure you're sticking around, too. If you guys are not sticking around, I guess, if you're on Patreon, don't worry. The after show is going to come to you. We've got some shenanigans planned tonight. Let's get ready for another crazy episode. And
returning from his 1-week hiatus, he was doing something good, so we'll allow it.
Hey.
The King of Talk Style, the newly named Defiant, Anthony DeStefano. What is up?
Yes. The Defiant channel, where you'll see me do the butt rock stuff that I used to do back in the day. Because we have a very special announcement coming very soon. If you're a fan of GOW or WOW, you might want to just really pay attention in the upcoming weeks. But I'm good, man. What an episode. I mean, an hour and 59 minutes of great television, and then the last minute you shut the lights off on me. And I'm sure we'll get into that. It was almost like the hoagie tray, Phil, from WrestleMania. That's how I felt last night. I just couldn't get past it. I was trying to build a bridge. The bridge would fall. But what an episode. So much fun. We have a great episode of Rampage tomorrow night. And Hook debuted last week. They sent Hook. I'm a hooker, in case you guys didn't know. I stand 2 things, Hook and Jay Cargill. That's it.
And all together, we make up Elite POV. And if it's your first time listening, welcome. We do this show every Thursday live on twitch.tv/Elite POV with replays available on YouTube and wherever you guys get your podcasts. If you want to support the show, like Kyle said, patreon.com/Elite POV. Right now on the channel, we have the 2nd episode of Top Girl Talk, which is an incredible episode about everything that women fans deal with gatekeeping, because we know how toxic that can be at times. Jackie and Jamie deliver an incredible episode that you definitely do not want to miss. And also up there is a ridiculous over 20-minute video where I go over my wrestling collection. If you guys are watching live on Twitch right now or back on YouTube, you would see this is like 1% of it that's behind me next to me. So it is a great video. It was cool for me to go down memory lane, and we got a lot of great stuff coming with that.
Oh, yeah, the new year is going to be packed.
We got a lot of great stuff for our Patreon coming in the new year. Now, speaking of great things, first, ElitePOVmerch.com. Go over there, get some merchandise. Our incredible designer, Infinity, made some great shirts. Christmas is coming up. Like, Jackie's wearing it right now if you guys are watching the feed live or watching back on YouTube. That is an awesome shirt. I just bought my own version of everybody's shirt, so I will start wearing a lot of our shirts on the show, which I am very excited for that. But Hashtag pay the man. If he does some good work, and he's awesome.
Not this hat though. One of one. One of one.
Yeah, one of one. The hat. If you're
But-
watching,
Yeah, where's
it could
our
be
hat,
coming
Ant?
soon.
Come on.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
If you're interested in
Way to be a
that
team
hat,
player.
because we used to do this with Rant with Ant, because there's no like third party that makes hats. Like I have to get them made and ship
Yeah, it
them.
sucks.
Everyone else would charge you like $45. So if you are interested in a hat, they might be coming up for pre-sale after the new year.
Yeah, let's get through the holidays and we'll figure out how to get the hats to you guys. But one thing I do want to mention
Yeah.
before we get into this week's AEW and some news and all that great stuff that we always do every week, I just want to thank everybody. Me and Kyle, the privilege of reviewing Conti last week. I put out a tweet on Monday saying let's get to 500 views. We are almost at 700 in less than a week. So, well, I guess
Hell
a week
yeah.
now as we're recording this. So
TCBs,
thank you
baby.
guys for that.
TCBs.
Yeah, the TCBs, the Ty Conti boys, me and Kyle, we out here, we making moves. And, thank you to Ty Conti for giving us the time
Shout out
doing
to
this great
Fightful.
interview. Shout out to Fightful for not only
Yeah.
sharing a written clip
was
of
huge.
our interview, but actually giving us credit for it. We see a lot of these sites do that and then not give credit. Also, at Wrestling Purist on Twitter doing the same thing, right? Tagging us, making sure that we're getting credit for the work that we did, for the interview that we did. So thank you guys for that. But if you guys haven't seen it, it is available on podcasts or it is available on our YouTube channel. Just type in Elite POV on YouTube. It will come up. Just type in Ty Conti. Honestly, it's the third or fourth video that come up. And as you could tell, I've watched the interview about 400 times. All those views are basically.
I mean, if you're not a Tay Conti fan after watching this interview, I don't know what's going to make you a bigger fan or even a fan of her, because it is so awesome. And it was a great interview when a site like Fightful does not one but two articles on stuff she said in this podcast. So you guys are definitely going to want to check it out. You learn a lot of cool things about Tay, and you just learn just how much of a humble and amazing human being she is. So definitely go check it out, guys. You're not going to want to miss it.
Absolutely. And with that said, before we get into the show, one last final thing. We have the Elite POV Awards coming up. Kyle, play the graphic. Or the commercial.
2021, the year AEW's revolution went all out. From shocking returns of Second City Saints to the crowning of Spanish gods, we celebrate the moments that had us more anxious than a trip to the dentist, to the moments that we sang out, the moment the star stood proud, the kickouts, the fakeouts, and the breakouts. AEW went full gear ahead. So join us to celebrate the most special moments. Performers of the year, the fists, the flips, the cowboy shit. The Elite POV Awards come to you December 30th. Let's make it dynamite. Yeah, that last one was a little bit too much. Vote now.
And what an incredible commercial brought to you by our own Anthony DiStefano.
Look at you,
let these people
Hollywood.
know where they can submit their vote if they haven't already.
It's all over the Twitter. We're sharing it every day, guys. We have, I think, a good amount of votes in, and I'm the only one that can see the results. And there are some close, and
Oh,
I mean
boy.
close
Ooh.
races. And I mean, just when we sat there Saturday night and we made the list as a team, we were like, dude, like we could name 10 matches. We could name 10 superstars. We could name, but we just went with 5 wrestlers.
We can name a
5
match that
female
happened last
wrestlers.
night.
Like, yeah,
No,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
Are we-
a wrench in our plans.
like Kingston Danielson, I don't think made that list. And I'm like, that's one of my favorite matches of AEW. And then the match last night, that's going to be an honorable mention because obviously we can't add that in. And I guess that's a good segue, right, Phil?
Oh, yeah. Well, before we get into Dynamite, I do want to go over some news that happened this week. Now, the first thing is the best thing. Happy birthday to Brody Lee. He's gone, but we miss him every day. We saw all the great posts on Twitter. Everybody's posting about it. Amanda posted, something that'll bring a tear to your eye. And speaking of Amanda Huber, she had an incredible article this past week on the Players Tribune, which is, let me tell you something, the strength of this woman, I'll never understand how she can be dealt a loss like that and still face the day with a brave face and be able to work for the company and be able to do the things that she does, which, you can't say enough about her. But happy birthday, Brody Lee. We miss you, and we'll do our best to keep your legacy around forever. Now, from that Brody to another Brody, it is being reported that Brody King has signed to AEW. It's being rumored. It hasn't officially been reported yet. We saw, and we'll talk about it later, but Malachi Black cut a promo, said a very interesting line in it that we'll get to a little bit later that could have teased Brody King coming in, which we are very excited about. How do you guys feel about the potential of Brody King coming in?
It's got to be him. Like it's got to be him. Like it was sort of confirmed.
At the end, it's like, yeah.
It was sort of confirmed by bodyslam.net, who at times they've been unreliable, but at big times this year specifically, they've been spot on.
The guy Casserole hasn't been wrong a lot.
Yeah.
He's been, and that's the guy who broke it. He was on about Bryan Danielson. He was on about Bryan Danielson's return getting pushed up, or you know what I mean, or his debut getting pushed up. So he was right on a lot. And then when SRS picks it up, and even like as much as everyone hates him, Meltzer picks it up, there's something behind it, So I'm excited for it personally. I haven't seen a lot of Brody King matches, I'm not gonna lie, but he looks menacing. And I'm more interested in where this is going, because it looks like when he spits the mist, eventually you develop, like, in that vignette, the guy throws up mist, right? And you're like, oh shit, like, what about Pac? What about Julia Hart? Like, there's people that he's, but then it's weird because it's like, but what about Cody? He's hit Cody with the mist more than anyone.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I'm just trying to like decipher in my head how this is going to play out. Like, I think so. This is my hot take, and I know we're not supposed to talk about it. It's not, but my take is that Pillman's going to be one that joins the House of Black. I don't know why. I think Pillman's going to have something to do.
I don't know. We'll get into more of that later. But Jackie, how do you feel about the potential of Brody King maybe coming?
I think it's a really cool thing in terms of the development of Malachi Black's character overall. We've seen a lot of his feud with Cody, and just I feel like he hasn't really stepped into the fully dark, menacing character. So I think people have been very anxious to see this development of the House of Black. And I'm always up for a good stable faction, whatever you want to call it. So bring it on. If this rumor is true, I think it can only mean really good things for Malachi Black and his character development.
So now we have two more things in the news. One that some of us are pretty upset about, and one that Ant is very excited about. So the first one is it has been reported that Kevin Owens has signed a 3-year deal back with WWE. So all those reports and rumors that potentially he might be coming to AEW in the beginning of the year, you throw those out the window. I mean, I guess good, bad situation on my end. Bad because, of course, you want to AEW is a company that I watch all the time, and Kevin Owens is awesome. Adding more talent it's only going to make the company even better. But it's also kind of a good thing because the roster is bloated. So with the potential of maybe Kyle O'Reilly.
Did you see the bag he got, bro? He didn't say no to that. $2 to $3 million a year. A year? Okay. Where do I sign? You could make me in fucking catering.
Yeah, we'll see in 6 months if that works out.
Well, whatever. But, here's the beauty of it. WWE is not afraid to release people that they're paying millions of dollars. Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt. Maybe in a year and a half, they're about to sell, and they go, all right, KO, see ya. And then he gets his money, and we get Kevin Steen in AEW. Anything can happen. I'm upset as a fan of pro wrestling. I'm not upset for that guy. That guy deserves all the money in the world. So shout out to KO.
I think he needs to make those decisions to go wherever it suits. He has a family, and so if he's happy, we should be happy, and that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, sure. That's a one way to look at it. But so the good news, what I definitely want to showcase, and I'm going to Ant for this first. So Hook had his debut match on Rampage last week, and everything I've ever said about the guy, I couldn't be more wrong. This dude is so good, and I've watched that match like 3 times. It's really the perfect debut. Everything from having his father Taz on commentary to having someone like Fuego who's really good at making people look good in that ring. But Ant, how do you feel? You're a hooker. You said it in the beginning of the show. How excited are you?
Yep. I was hyped, man, because it's not very often that there's someone who has like a mystique about him. What did we know about Hook? Like, what did us as the fans know about Hook? We knew he was Taz's son. We knew he carried a bag of chips. That's all we knew. We didn't know if this guy was going to get in the ring and suck, but this guy got in the ring. First off, the entrance alone, Action Bronson got me hyped. That dude came out looking like a fighter. And then you're like, oh shit, maybe I should take this guy serious. And entrances mean so much because I always say when you look at someone, right, and you get your first impression of them, he looked like nothing we've seen him presented as, right? He came out, he had like the boxing shorts on, he was walking with a purpose. He literally paced around the ring, like stalking his prey. I was like, holy shit, like he might kill Fuego. The match started, like you said, shout out to Fuego. He sold his ass off for Hook. He was getting thrown around. He was getting bodied. But man, that is the perfect kind of foil you need to make Hook look like a star. And the ovation this kid got, it started as a joke, but now I think people are really taking it serious as they should.
So how do you feel about Hook's debut?
I think I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I was not expecting what we got on Friday out of Hook. He flowed really nicely. I'm glad he's adapting the submission game, kind of like his dad, and it's kind of like his main focus. And he looked really good. Like his in-ring stamina was really good, and I am expecting a lot of things out of him. Don't know if he's going to be wrestling a lot. He kind of seems like this guy is going to be like one of those. They might save him for a big thing next, or maybe they want him to have a couple of matches against some indie talent now on Dark to get some chemistry going, and then maybe I think the end game is going to be Punk and Hook to go at. They have to go at each other like that. I'm shocked that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I mean they're saving it, and it'll probably be something really cool that we'll get as like a one-off. But Jackie, before we move on to Dynamite, any final thoughts on Hook's debut?
Yeah, I think when somebody's debuting in the ring, especially on a larger scale, when they're debuting on a big TV network like TNT, one of my biggest critiques is always fluidity in a match. And I feel like Hook came in and he looked like he had been at this for a while. It didn't look like messy, sloppy, or that there was a disconnect between him and Fuego, which also speaks to Fuego as an opponent too. But I think Hook looked really smooth, very clean, and I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what he does next.
Now, from one legend to a legendary moment on AEW Dynamite, let's start off with talking about the best 60 minutes you're ever going to see on AEW television, and that is Hangman Adam Page versus Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Now, going into this, I will say I was surprised at first that this opened the show. You would assume that it would end the show, kind of how last year Moxley and Omega ended the show. But then we're talking to everybody that's here because we do watch Dynamite live, and I think it was Kyle that said it. It was just like it's smart because they can go as long as they want because they're setting the pace. It's not like, oh, this match, in the first hour went over 10 minutes and it's going to affect us. Like, no, they set the pace. And then look what ends up happening. We get a 60-minute match. It ends up being a draw. I know some stupid people online who don't understand to just enjoy the show are complaining that it was a draw, even though it's going to end. I mean, look, we love draws here. We have the draw on our show right now, and she's the best part of us.
You let me know when I can come.
Draws,
you let me know when I can talk because I got a rant about that.
All right, Kyle, I want you to start off with this. Go ahead.
I am angry at people that are mad about this match. I don't understand. They just gave us a 60-minute pay-per-view world title match for free in the first hour of Dynamite. Why are you mad that there wasn't a pinfall or a submission? Are you joking? If you look at it from afar, you have to really think about it before you make a decision on being angry at this match. If Bryan took an L here, I don't think it would have made sense at all to what this entire storyline has been going down. You realize this now. Hangman had made Kenny go to the limit. Went 30 minutes. Kenny could not pin Hangman Page. Could not defeat him within those 30 minutes. Bryan just took him. Bryan, who's been whipping everybody's ass for weeks and weeks and weeks on end, he could not defeat Hangman Page for 60 minutes. This just made Hangman the top guy in the company. He went to a draw with two of the best wrestlers in the entire world. Why are you complaining that there wasn't a finish? And oh my God,
enjoy the ride.
The E-drums. I picked out this tweet because it was going on in my head, and this guy tweeted exactly what I was thinking of. He goes, honestly, no matter what kind of finish that Page and Bryan, the match would have had, the E stands would have always found something to shit on it because they always do it with anything AEW does. Quote unquote, match ending in a DQ, how lame. Oh, if Page lost, WWE guy won again. Oh, if Bryan lost, oh, he was just buried in AEW. They would find anything to bury this match if they're for anything. If it wasn't a draw. I'm just saying,
Now,
why are fucking people mad at this? You can't enjoy 60 minutes of pure wrestling for
Because wrestling
we're
fans.
not used to it, and this is why we can't have anything nice as wrestling fans, right? They're so used to dusty finishes being disqualifications or the champion cheating to win that they're not used to hey, how about two guys that just can't put each other away? It happens in football, it happens in sports where things end in ties, and you go, fuck, that's why there's overtime in NBA. Most of the time, the games went in a tie. Hockey more than anything, right? And it's we can enjoy that it was a draw. We can enjoy the spectacle, and that's why AEW is because you're there for the pro wrestling. And instead of doing some dusty ass finish, they said, okay, there was a draw. And once it set in that it was 40 minutes in, I started thinking, okay, there's one thing that Hangman brought up. He said that Bryan couldn't put Omega away in 30 minutes, and he could. So he went at Bryan for not being able to pin someone and it ending up a draw. And now Danielson just took him to the draw. It just is more of the soul searching for Hangman Page of finding his confidence to put this guy away.
Mm-hmm. Now, Jackie, you are the positive one in the show. You're the one who always takes us in such a great positive, direction. The three of us talking about, the stuff that we didn't like the way fans reacted, but coming from you, such a huge Hangman Adam Page fan, tell me what you loved about the match. Tell me everything that was great about the match.
I think these two guys went out there and really told one hell of a story. So in terms of, I'm gonna call back to what Ann said. Everything about Hangman and his journey in AEW has been about him having to fight twice as hard, 3 times hard, 10 times as hard for any victory, for any triumph that he has. So it's the beauty in the struggle. So yes, you want to take it from one perspective that Danielson went 60 minutes and couldn't beat Hangman. That makes Hangman look great, but it also shows, it also speaks to the fact that Hangman is always having to push that extra mile to get his dues. And I think that the match was freaking fantastic. There were some moments where it felt like Hangman was kind of coming to Danielson's level in terms of the aggressive striking and whatnot. But Hangman pulled out an aerial offense that I don't think I've ever seen from him at that level. And there was just so many breathtaking moments. Hangman being at ringside, all bloodied up and dazed after having his head rammed into a turnbuckle. And you're like, shit, is he going to finish the match? Everything in this match is a storytelling moment. And I think that that's
and
art.
It's the first time Danielson, right? Sorry.
Yeah, no. It's like I just think that it's. Go ahead.
It's so laggy for me. I'm sorry because it sounded like you were done. If it's the first time Danielson actually went like full blown fuck you crowd, right? Like he
Yeah.
was flipping people off, and it
Absolutely.
was the most. So everything that Danielson put together against the Dark Order all came into one, and we saw an aggression out of Danielson like we've never seen, or we saw like 10 years ago that we forgot about, right? We didn't remember how like menacing and aggressive, and he's just stomping on his head and he's yelling, I'm gonna kick his fucking head, and like going insane. I thought it was a beautiful match. Not topping Danielson Omega yet in my book. I gotta watch it again. Pretty fucking close. It was that good.
I don't know. I feel like Hangman saw Danielson and Omega and was like, "Hold my beer."
I'm just saying.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
literally.
take
The
it
people
to that level.
I feel like the people complaining about this match that there was no finish are the same people that complain that they have to pay $50 for a pay-per-view. Bruh, they just gave you 60 minutes for free on a world title match on TV. What are you complaining
And it was
about?
excellent. And it was excellent. And it told an excellent story. And, you know, I've said this a few times on this show because if anybody could speak to it, it's me, right? So I understand that for years, for a lot of our lives, we're so used to the way mainstream wrestling is being booked, where it's like, here's the big match is over, that's it. It's one and done, and you move on. You forget that AEW is about longer storytelling, right? So everything that Jackie said, everything that Ant and Kyle have said is 100% true. And also, you have to remember, this is building to their next match. I see people in the chat earlier brought up Omega and Okada 2. That match ended in a draw, which got people even more hype for Omega Okada 3. And this got me even more hype for the rematch that's probably going to happen at Revolution. That's going to be even bigger than this match because how do you top a 60-minute draw? Yeah, or maybe even battle for the belt,
Or
right?
Phil, I'll one up you. Even the eventual, people are going to be talking about it when he comes back. When Omega comes back, people are like, "Hey, we need these three in a triple threat because of what's happened." Yeah,
and AEW does a great job at leaving little Easter eggs here and there that they can always come back to if they want to. If that's the direction that Tony Khan wants to take it, or if that's the direction that they notice the fans are kind of leaning in, right? Because AEW is very good at going a direction that we want them to go in, right? Giving us the payoffs that we actually want. And this match was unreal. The one thing that I want to bring up from this match was when Hangman starts bleeding, right? I thought it was really cool. And this goes back to what Ant was saying about how brutal Danielson is. When Danielson is like punching him in his head to make the blood come out more, like he's like being like sadistic almost in a way, right? Which is like, you can do the yes chance all you want.
There was a scene where Hangman was up against the turnbuckle and he was stepping on his head, and you could just see the blood coming like faster to the surface.
Oh yeah, that was like, great.
Holy God. Like, first off, great camera work. You know what I mean? Like, that was an excellent.
But what about the
shot.
camera work that Ant you were bringing up while we were watching it, where it's like when they were in picture, which I'm sure at some point in the show, Jackie's head's going to explode with all the picture from this past week. I hope they sold a ton of ad money because Jesus Christ, it was like every 5 minutes.
I know.
Ant was like, yo, look at Danielson in the ring in the picture. The dude was like working out while they're like working on Hangman to get him to stop bleeding outside.
he's doing jumping
like,
jacks and flipping off the
trolling
crowd.
hard.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome.
This is the best Danielson I've ever seen. Like, I've loved this more than anything he's done in WWE. I'm sorry, I'll say it. I hated everything he did in WWE from just watching him in AEW in these first 3 months.
It is unreal the matches that he's getting out of people, right? Like we understand, you know, Bryan Danielson is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, but it's the chemistry he's having with almost anybody he's in the ring with. Like
not getting held back,
unreal. Yeah,
being able to create that mystery of
he's no nature boy.
But creating that mystery, you don't know how he's gonna win a match. He can win with anything. Like you don't know when the finish is gonna be. I bet you I wonder if Ric Flair is watching that 60-minute match. He's probably tucked his tail in after watching that.
Oh, he gave it some really high praise, and I was like, it's interesting. Weren't you just like talking smack on Bryan Danielson? But he had to eat his words real quick.
One Uber drive away from a loony bin.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Go elbow drop your jacket.
Yeah. But no, it was an incredible match. And for anybody who's listening and hasn't gotten a chance to watch, you need to watch that match. That is a must watch. You need to drop everything you're doing don't turn the podcast off. All right. Listen to the podcast. And when the podcast is over, then you go back, watch the match. It's incredible. I've watched
Turn
it
us
twice
off now.
myself. All right. Shout out to Carrie, who I don't know how emotionally and mentally she
Hi,
got through that
Carrie.
match. Hangman is her favorite. She's texting me the whole time, like, I didn't breathe for 60 minutes. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things where it's like we kind of got through it together because we were all biting our nails nervously, like, please, Hangman, don't lose the belt yet.
Yo,
you just got this.
Shout outs to
But
her
it was
too
a
with the Elite POV shirt she tweeted out, the NWO
yep.
version one. So shout outs to you, Carrie, for spotting that. Guys, you guys have Elite POV merch. Don't be afraid to send us a tweet, or if you want to send us a DM, we can tweet it out for you. We love seeing that. That's like
Tag us in that.
Yeah, it means the absolute world to us that you guys rock our merch. So if you have merch or some of our merch, tweet it out for us. Because that was awesome of her to send that selfie today. That was made my morning this morning. So shout out to you, Carrie, for that. But yeah, that match.
Carrie's the best.
That match though. Whew.
Now, talking about one of Carrie's guys, let's talk about another one of Carrie's guys in a match that was super quick, but got right to the point and is furthering a longer story that we're going to see a payoff probably in another 6 months, right? We get Wardlow versus Matt Sydal, and Wardlow basically kills him. Now, the one thing I want to go to Kyle first, because I think besides Wardlow being excellent in the match, the guy who stole the show was Shawn Spears. We get him being like, whoa, Wardlow, stop with the power bombs. And then he attacks Matt Sydal with a chair, which I thought was hilarious. And then we get the phone call from MJF saying that he wants Wardlow to go get champagne by himself, and everybody else they'll handle it. So Kyle, how do you feel your boy Shawn Spears did this week?
He's playing that role to a T. I love that. He's playing that. He wants to kind of take over the role of Wardlow and be kind of like MJF's dude. And I loved everything with that. With he grabbed the microphones and then telling Wardlow to stop and then going nuts with the chair. Did you notice when you get the phone call? Sometimes you see a lot in wrestling, like when they try to do the fake phone calls, like they just grab their phone. You'll see their lock screen turn on and they'll act like they're on the phone. My boy Shawn Spears got someone to really call him because the flashing light thing on the back of his iPhone, that's what you can turn that on for when someone actually calls you. This guy actually had someone call him to make that just the little things, guys, the little things you notice. They put that much effort. I don't know if he got MJF to do it or whoever to just call.
MJF calling him, really.
Yeah. But
I like to think it was Cassie Lee. Like she's on the other end.
Hey babe.
Yeah, it was Cassie Lee.
with Jesse
Hey,
McKay.
babe.
The dogs say hi.
They're muted on their end and they're just laughing hysterically because they're like watching him on television, but it's them on the other end.
Oh, that was great.
I think that'd be hilarious.
That was awesome. But yeah, they're really pushing this storyline, which I kind of love the idea that we've talked about of like, I brought up that, I kind of wish that they'd wait for MJF to win the title and then that's how Wardlow turns. But I think the Revolution match kind of seems like it's either going to be, they're going to push MJF and Punk all the way to Revolution because they still haven't really given us a date. Like if they haven't given us a date yet, it's either going to be at this like New Year's Bash thing, or they're going to push it all the way
to TBS show, maybe
first TBS show or Revolution. But then if that's the case, then I can see MJF and Wardlow happening at Revolution. If not, if it is Punk and MJF at Revolution, that's where we're going to get the turn. Officially, that's probably where we're going to get the turn.
No, I can see that. And you think too, because in my head I'm like, why can't it be a Revolution? Revolution's in January, and then I just remembered it's in March. So that's a long time to keep Punk and MJF in a feud and not have them actually throw hands. But Jackie, what'd you think of this segment, even though it was a quick one?
It was really quick. But yeah, I think Shawn Spears is like growing on me big time with this whole, like, he's so snarky and the whole, I love the, a little excessive, Wardlow, a little excessive and then smashing Sydal with a chair. And it's just like, it's great stuff. I would love to see, I think Allie had pointed this out in the chat. She said, I want Wardlow to destroy Spears before he destroys MJF. And I feel like that would be a cool way to go with this. Like, kind of like MJF being the coward that he is, putting all these obstacles in the way and be like, all right, well, if you can get Spears, then you can get to me.
Yeah, but, Allie, why do you want to break Kyle's heart?
Don't we break
You want Wardlow to kill Shawn Spears? You're trying to break his heart.
How dare you? I'm about to write. I'm writing a piece, or not writing a piece, but I don't know if I brought this up last week. Guys, I have something special coming to the Patreon soon. Probably going to be released in January, most likely. I'm doing like a whole deep dive inside kind of thing with Sean Spears, kind of going over his entire career in wrestling and why he was become my favorite wrestler and basically one of my heroes. So look out for that on Patreon. So shout outs to that. But yeah, why do you want to break my heart? I don't,
No,
Yeah,
like,
can
don't
Kyle
do
be
that.
happy? 'Cause
No,
his
like,
boy's getting TV time, and you want to break his heart by having Wardlow break him. You know?
oh my god, I'm glad that he's getting TV time. Like Sean Spears is just like he's just a cool guy outside of his character. He's always seems like a really nice person, but he plays his character well. And you know the end point for most heels is that they're gonna get the shit kicked out of them. So it's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
They're gonna get their fucking head kicked in.
Yeah, more or less.
So now I want to transition to a promo that has a lot of people talking, giving what it teased. Now we get this holiday themed promo with the Super Click and Bobby Fish,
Oh God.
where essentially Adam Cole teases he has a big surprise for the Bucks next week. Now a lot of people are talking on social media what that might be.
Bruh.
For people who don't know, Kyle O'Reilly and Johnny Gargano's contract are both officially up with WWE. I think both have signed extensions to get through War Games pay-per-view for NXT, and now they are officially free agents, so they can show up at any time, because remember, they were not released, so there's no 90-day or 30-day clause where they have to wait before they can show up on television for another company. So now a lot of people are thinking, hey, maybe Kyle O'Reilly shows up next week. And
He's showing
would you
up.
be excited for O'Reilly showing up? We get an Undisputed Era reunion. Maybe
Long
this
as
leads
it's
to a
not
bigger feud.
fucking Sting again. Yeah, I'm good.
It's gonna be Sting.
Right? Like, come on, man. The lights went out last night. Can we not? Nobody's talking about the lights going out and it being Sting. Is
You're
Am I the only
the
one-
only one upset about it.
am I the only one on this island?
No,
Like,
oh no,
yeah.
he is
Why
not
is
the
the
only
light-
one that is upset.
like, first off, I'm like,
Sting
fucking
has done
Wyndham's
that
here.
before, though.
Wyndham's
Sting
here.
has done
I'm
that
gonna
before.
cry. I don't care what Sting's done. He also used to be a surfer with blonde hair. I don't care. Okay.
I miss Surfer Sting.
You shut the lights off, Tony Khan. Wyndham was supposed to
Yo,
come.
if the lights came on,
that
it was
was my
Surfer Sting.
prediction.
You would have popped.
Maybe Wolfpack Sting, but I don't care what Sting. It could have been Sting from the Police, the band. I don't give a fuck. It wasn't Wyndham.
Oh,
Do
I
not
would've
shut the
popped.
lights off for anybody. But
Malachi
Kyle-
does this too. Everyone has lights shut off. It's like
but if it was Malachi, I'd be like, okay, cool. It's his thing, right? That's his thing. But Kyle O'Reilly, I think that'd be a nice little surprise. I'm
happening.
excited to see where it goes.
It's coming.
Maybe this is a way to
he
turn the Bucks
retweeted
face.
it with an eye emoji. The guy's coming.
Yeah. They're gonna. But here's the thing: is Cole gonna turn on the Bucks, and then it's gonna set
yeah.
up Undisputed versus the Elite
Yep.
as the Elite as the faces,
Mhm.
or will Undisputed then become faces because everybody loves Adam Cole anyway? Like, there's a lot of questions, but I think that's the one that you can bank on. Like, that is definitely the debut that's happening, and it's going to be exciting to see what they do. Now, I know I've seen a lot of people like, oh, see, they're going to take something from NXT. It's like, those guys have been wrestling together way before NXT,
Mhm.
and they're
Yep.
wrestling together way after NXT, and just have fucking fun. Like, would
Yeah,
you
that's
be
the
upset?
thing, too, like, have
would
fun
you be
because-
upset if like you were watching WWE and like the NWO in their prime were like, hey, we're here, or like,
Yeah.
God forbid, 3 years from now, Moxley goes back and the Shield reunites, everyone's gonna be happy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, he's never going back. But you get what I'm saying? Like, why can't you just live in the moment and just have nice things? Why do we have to automatically start like ripping shit up and saying, oh, they stole that from NXT? It's like, and they stole from Ring of Honor.
Yeah, but the thing you have to remember too is like AEW has shown, especially over the last year, that they are like a continuation of stories, right? So like even if something happens in another company, they creatively find a way to make it make sense here, right? With the whole Malachi stuff, where everything that happened with him and that Seth Rollins Buddy Murphy feud, it kind of leaned into what he's doing now and what he's teasing now with the eye and stuff like that, and the darkness inside of him. So with bringing over O'Reilly, you know it's going to be a continuation of the story that him and Cole just told in NXT. So instead of being mad, be happy, because if you were a fan of them when they were in NXT, which pretty much everybody was, because they Undisputed Era was the best part of NXT for like 2 years. Just be happy we're getting a continuation of that story. But Jackie, are you excited about this?
Yeah, I just think like I know people want to nitpick and really tear things to shreds with, like what you just mentioned in terms of, oh, it's just another like continuation of NXT. It's just like, if it worked, why not go with it? It's that simple. It's
Those
just
people
like,
weren't
if it isn't
complaining when they were
broke,
watching
don't
NXT.
fix it. Yeah, really, just but
Here's
can
a
we
better
also-
thing: just don't watch AEW if you're gonna bitch about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't watch shit you don't want to watch.
Yeah.
I don't watch things that I don't want to watch or that make me unhappy. It's just like, it's a waste of freaking time. But they threatened Sue. These assholes threatened Trent's mom. And
Yeah,
I'm like, this is like the second time,
Yeah.
like, it was MJF threatening Larry, and now it's, the Super Click and Bobby Fish threatening Trent's mom. And I'm not cool with that. Leave Sue alone. I have to say, I popped for Sue's Twitter reactions where she's like, hello, I'm being threatened. Greggy, help me.
Yeah. How do I hold the Reggie? And I know that it's probably Trent running it, but let me tell you something. It is one of the funniest things in the world. Sue's Twitter.
Yo, Sue is
It's
so
hilarious to
damn
me.
over. I love Sue.
It's awesome. But now transitioning from
Oh,
that
whoa.
over to
Whoa!
Oh wait, I forgot. I'm
Whoa.
sorry. Kyle, go ahead. Go ahead, Kyle. I forgot.
You
Go.
forgot the biggest Undisputed Era
Yeah.
mark out
He's-
of all of us
he's the
here?
biggest
Are you
mark out of all of us,
serious?
yeah.
I have the armband. I'm a mark, baby.
I have the armband too. What are you talking about? I have the first armband.
Undisputed Boys.
I have an armband before they wore armbands. How about that?
You knew it.
Yeah,
Like
I
you knew
was
it was going to be an
throwing up
armband.
when they
You baited
debuted.
Yeah.
I drank too much and then threw up when Adam Cole was
Hey,
debuting.
I
don't know,
spent
that was-
seventy-
Their
I spent-
logo
Still
was
my
the
favorite
triangle
sport.
I drew on my notebook in grade school.
I spent
so fuck off.
$75 on that trio action figure pack when I came down to New York.
I
I'm the
did
one
too,
who
and I
introduced
told it.
Adam Cole to Britt Baker on social media, which gave him the courage to start Undisputed Era.
Anyways,
I bought Tony Schiavone his earring, which Adam Cole's jealous of.
that's good for you. But anyways, yeah, okay, two things. One, if they don't have Kyle O'Reilly pop out of a big Christmas box next week, that's going to be a miss because they said we got a big gift for everyone next week. And he's holding like a Christmas box. He better pop out of a Christmas box. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, they're turning on the Bucks next week. It's gonna
Two, I think it's gonna be a fight over Adam Cole. I think the Bucks are
Yep.
gonna get jealous that Riley and Fisher in there. Adam Cole's former team NXT, and the Bucks are gonna get jealous that that they're two there, and there's gonna be a divide. And I think that's when we're gonna get maybe like Cole turning on the Bucks and siding with them two, and the Bucks might go away for a little bit, or because I know. They can't really do like a trio feud because Kenny's not there.
Yeah,
I don't know who else you have that the Bucks can go after, or they sign someone new to the Super Click. So
Brandon Cutler.
I guess Brandon Cutler for now, but
Mhm.
that's not a Revolution match anyone wants to pay for.
No, I
Bucks
think
and
the Bucks
Cutler.
are going to take some time off.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do think they'll get a month off too, 2 months, because these guys have been going full steam ahead, like no breaks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
for like what, a year?
that's what I mean. Then they should come
More
back
or
near
less,
Revolution.
yeah.
Come back near Revolution. Maybe they have someone in mind if Kenny can come back yet, and they have like a trios match at Revolution. So I think that's what the direction they're going to go into, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm excited to hear if they're going to come up with a team name and a new name and what it's going to be. I'm sure they're brainstorming like crazy. But O'Reilly's coming next week. If anyone doesn't,
I hope it's a
believe
play
that.
on Undisputed
It's
Era.
got to
like,
be.
and
It's got to have the word era
and
in
it's not
it.
even low key about
It's
it. Like,
going to
you're-
be Undisputed Elite, so they could still throw up the UE.
That would
That'd
be
be
great. Yeah. Because they don't.
That'd be
Own,
cool.
No one owns this. No one. You can't own
Yeah,
this
it-
sign.
You can't own the word.
Bobby Fish
Undisputed.
did this sign the
yeah,
other
you
week.
can say Undisputed. Yeah, you can say Undisputed, right? I'm sure they don't.
I still won't
Is
forget that. There's a couple of weeks ago when Bobby Fish was like, and that's and they stopped him. They're like, you can't do that.
It should just be called the Undisputed Error with an
Yeah.
OR.
Error.
Yeah.
Hold- real quick, a shout out to Ascended saying in the chat, this is like Ant's worst nightmare. Cole brings out a big box on stage, lights go out, and Sting pops out.
No, it's
No, it's
either
the Elite
Sting or
Hunter.
Frankie Kazarian. Either one, I'm
Elite
fine.
Hunter.
I actually like Sting, right? But like last night, you made me hate a man that I paid a lot of money to meet before.
Yeah.
That's who the Bucks are going to have as their
First,
third member. It's going to be
Kazarian.
the Elite Hunter. He's going to join the
It's gonna be
Elite.
Frankie
Oh
Kazarian.
my god.
Oh,
And of
God.
course is the Elite Hunter. The
Oh.
POV Hunter.
I'm the elite POV hunter.
Now we can
This last
transition,
show.
though.
Yeah. All right. So now a match that I think is one of the best women's matches of the year. We have Hikaru Shida versus Serena Deeb. We finally get this rivalry to get even more steam, going even more forward now. It was their rubber match, I believe, right? It was their third match.
Yes, it was.
So it was their rubber match, and it did not disappoint. I came into this match with an incredible amount of hype behind it because the two matches that they had beforehand were exceptional. The storytelling that they're doing with Serena Deeb messing with her when Shida had her match in the TBS Championship Tournament was great, and it did not disappoint. And I think me and Kyle were talking about this while we were watching live, and the best praise I can give this match is it was just so smooth, right?
Yeah.
They were wrestling
Yes.
like any other great wrestler, regardless of gender. They were just two great wrestlers having a great match. Everything was smooth. Everything leaned into each other. A lot of people were in one sequence where it was like the powerbomb pin into Shida reversing to another pin into Serena reversing into the single leg submission, and it was just like whoa! And it was so quick, so fast, and it was just a great time. It was a great match. But Jackie, what did you think about this match?
I just, you know how every once in a while you'll get those matches where the crowd just chants "fight forever" at the wrestlers. This is my fight forever moment. I could literally watch Shida and Deeb every damn week, and I'm sure they're gonna pull out something different, something exciting, and it's not gonna be repetitive. They're just the chemistry that the two of them have with each other, let alone the fact that both of them are just, in my opinion, two of the best women's wrestlers in that company. I just like I loved it. There was a moment I think where Shida like deadlifted Deeb into a Falcon Arrow, and it's just oh man, it's just like so many moments where you're just like popping left and right. You know, Deeb getting nasty and exposing the turnbuckle hooks and things like that. You know, I can't say enough positive things about Serena Deeb, who she is as a wrestler and a competitor. She's just like such a purist, and it's a beautiful thing to watch her work. Shida, a former women's champion, but I want Deeb in that title picture like as soon as possible, please.
Listen, we're gonna get her time will come, right? I think that with potentially Ruby Soho winning that TBS tournament, I'm still saying that's going to happen. And then potentially Thunder Rosa, which I hope also, ends up beating Britt Baker at some point next year. Those are two baby faces that a great heel Serena could do some incredible things with. Do I think she wins the title? I mean, who knows, right? But I think that she'll definitely be able to get some incredible matches out of them. But Kyle, what'd you think of this match?
It was great. It's great when you can watch a women's match that doesn't last 50 seconds and ends in a roll up. So that's pretty good. That's a positive there.
Kyle is sassy tonight, and I like it.
He really is.
I'm just saying, I saw it on my timeline. I'm like, that's not fair, especially what they did. They did Rhea Ripley dirty.
I would do Rhea Ripley dirty.
Yes,
that's what she said. Sure, that's what she said.
But yeah, great women's match. I could appreciate didn't have as many commercial breaks as the men's match in the beginning. I'm kind of sour about that still, right, Jackie? There's so many picture-in-picture breaks during men's matches. It's unfair,
Kyle's such an asshole. Listen, for an hour-long match, I would love to see that match completely uninterrupted. I like to see all of these matches.
Fight TV, there you go.
Well, you can do it on Fight TV. Here's how you do it. Move to the UK and watch on Fight TV because that's what people in the chat are saying. On Fight TV, there's no commercials.
I'm gonna go overseas and I'm gonna move in.
You don't need to move. You don't need to move. You just go and get a VPN. Watch yourself some Dynamite on Fight TV.
Or she could move in with Carrie, like she said.
I want to move in with Carrie.
Just put Hangman posters all over their house. And Carrie loves FTR too, so it'll just be Hangman and FTR aesthetic around your apartment or house or whatever.
Yeah, Serena Deeb, unreal wrestler. She moves just as quick as the men. She's amazing. I love her theme song. Her theme song is fire, by the way. I don't think I've really listened to her theme song. I really listened to it this week, and I'm like, damn, it's a really good theme. I was bobbing my head to it. It was good. But yeah, great match between these two. I knew it was going to be a good match going into it. You have two really good wrestlers. They've been feuding the last couple of weeks, putting on some banger matches. So, no, I was up for it. It was great. And we move on here. I can see her being a future TBS champion for sure. That World Championship is Thunder Rosa's, whether it's going to be a Revolution or Double or Nothing. I'm going to assume Double or Nothing. They're going to make Britt hold on for an entire year. And then Thunder Rosa is your next champion 100%. Yeah, I can't complain. They did a really good job with this match. We got a lot of time put into it, and I know, again, still wish there was more women's matches, but we're getting that on Rampage this week, so technically we are getting more women's matches.
Can't fucking wait for Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
So, Annie, any final thoughts on this match, or you want to transition right over to that Rampage thing?
I mean, I just want to say, like, the pacing of it was just unbelievable. Probably the best paced female match that AEW has had pacing wise. I'm not saying match wise, pacing wise, everything just worked, and it worked at a speed that was quicker than usual. And they weren't missing their spots. It was just instant chemistry since the first match, and I kind of hope they go again. Honestly, go again for real. I would love to see it. But yeah, like Ty Conti, she's on there cutting promos now, fucking about to tap people out. Oof. And it's Ty versus Penelope, and it's like heaven. It's just
And
what
it's
you
the
walk into
submission-
heaven.
Submission match, yeah.
Which is what's really cool. And
She's gonna put her out. Ty's gonna.
I want to give a shout out to Sean Ross Sapp and the two guys that he had on his AEW review podcast. I forget the guy's name, but one of the guys made a good point that I wanted to kind of bring up. So he said that he thinks that this is all designed to develop a submission finisher for Ty Conti, right?
Okay.
And to kind of really kind of cement it as this is my alternate finisher. It's not just the DDT, but it's
Ty DT.
also the Ty DT. It's also the submission. So I think this is really cool. And plus, it's also awesome because we had this great pre-tape segment with Ty Conti and Penelope, and I think that with them giving more opportunities for Ty Conti to cut these promos, it's going to make a lot more people fall in love with her and going to make the casual AEW fans also fall in love with her, and which is going to make them want to book her. And I think, honestly, there are two people in this company who are going to win gold for AEW next year, and you can guarantee it. One is Eddie Kingston, and one is Ty Conti. I think the just the fandom around them is so big that there's no way we're going to get to the end of 2022 and both of them aren't going to be champions at one point. Which title it is, I mean, we'll wait and see. If you guys listen to the interview, Ty says she wants both titles, but she's going after that TBS
Kingston
title
will be
first, she said.
TNT.
Maybe Ty BS, the Ty BS title.
Kingston will be TNT champ.
I love that she threw out like with the nicest little smirk, bitch, and I was like, fuck yeah, Ty. Like, it was so great. I was like,
Jack, what'd you think of all this?
I'm really hyped because I think I've said this numerous times on the show. Submission wrestling is my favorite type of wrestling. So, Ty, with her fighting background, I think this is a really good chance for her to showcase a lot of what she knows in terms of submission and grappling. I'm here for it. Give me more matches like this, especially in the women's division. I know we talk about this interview a lot, but guys, I can't stress it enough. Go to the YouTube channel, watch this Ty Conti interview, because after watching it, I already loved her and was super proud of what she's been doing. But my God, what a really wonderful and humble person, but just so damn talented. Her star is on the rise. I'm hyped for Rampage.
Oh, and everybody knows I'm hyped.
Yeah,
I'm
we don't gotta ask
hyped.
Phil.
Yeah, you don't gotta ask me. Kyle,
he's
what do you
watching
think?
Spider-Man tomorrow night, and then he's watching Ty Conti submit a bitch.
Yeah. And right now I'm getting text messages right now from my wife and her friend and her boyfriend, and they're like, "Oh, what are we doing after Spider-Man?" I'm like, "The movie's like 3 hours long. Everything's gonna be closed." "Oh, we're gonna want to eat." "Cool." So when I'm at the restaurant like this, phone up, and I'm like, "Why are you not paying attention?" Like, "Yo, my girl Ty Conti out here fighting in a submission match. I got better things to do than talk to people." You know what I mean? And yeah, listen, you guys gotta watch the interview, you gotta listen to it. There's a lot of great things she says in it. She talks about wanting to wrestle in Japan. Kyle asks her a great question, how she connects with judo and pro wrestling, which she gives you kind of an insight on the way she puts together matches and the way she thinks about pro wrestling. So watch the interview and then watch her match on Rampage. It's going to be a great time. Now, before we get done with Dynamite, I want to talk about this main event, and I want to give Ant the true platform. He has mentioned it a few times, but
We're
Ant,
just,
first before you,
are we just not going to talk about the best promo AEW's done, the best vignette AEW's done?
Malachi, we talked about in the beginning.
Bro, Malachi, did you? That is literally
All
my
right,
GFU.
we'll start off with Malachi, then we'll get to the main event.
Has come to AEW. The Dark Father is here.
Yeah,
I fucking love it. That's all I want to say. I think this is how you have to show Malachi off. It felt so much like when I hate crossing it, but for 25 years there was only one promotion everybody watched, right? But it reminded me of like the Ministry of Darkness Taker. Like I was just waiting for him to start speaking in tongues. I was like, this is creepy shit. I'm so here for it.
The Druids
One
got
of
me.
the one of them was Zelina because they're like 4'8", but it was awesome. Like it was, oh my God. That is how you have to present Malachi. That is the perfect way. Like I liked his promos in front of the black screen or whatever, right? That he does. This was so much more effective for his character building. So much more
The
effective.
suit, and then he gets put the hood on, and
Yep.
he's got his little like preacher Bible. Like it's just it. This is it. Like this, I climaxed after watching that. That was
Yes.
that was it. I don't know.
And I saw on social media kind of talking about what you guys brought up earlier about, you know, how come Cody and Pac and Julia Hart haven't like transformed, right? Like the way it seems like this person who we could assume is Brody King is transforming. And what people were saying online, which I think is a good way to get our minds going, is it has to be like a ritual, right?
Yeah.
Like he has to have the book, he has to say the words, it has to be like they have to like accept it almost. And maybe there's bigger storytelling where it's like if he spits in your face, you get this dark side, and it only unlocks like fully if you accept it. And because like Cody's not accepting it, air quotes, that he's kind of being able to play back and forth or whatever. But the promo was excellent, right? It was just unreal to see the level of storytelling that, you know, the people in his company are allowed to have. And it's what's great about it is he didn't wrestle on the show, and we still got super hype about this, right? It's something that it's like a tease and then they take it away. When's going to be the next tease? It could be next week, it could be in a few weeks, but it's something that keeps our attention, kind of like Miro, right? Miro comes in, he cuts this great promo, and then he disappears for a week or two, and then you're like, oh shit, what's going on with Miro? And then eventually that's going to have a payoff. And the same thing with Malachi. It's eventually going to have a payoff. And before I go to you, Jackie, on your thoughts about this promo, I do want to give a shout out to Griff Garrison because he cut an incredible promo that aired before this. And they need to let Griff Garrison talk more because he's fantastic at promos. But Jackie, what did you think of the Malachi
In
promo?
honor of one Brody Lee, can I say, who the fuck is Griff Garrison?
Yeah, tonight I'll allow it for Brody.
Yeah.
Yes, no. And it looks like we're getting now Griff Garrison versus Malachi Black either next week or in the coming weeks. But yeah, I just think that Malachi Black is one of the most intriguing characters going in AEW, whether it be now or since the inception. The storytelling that he's doing, I have always been very drawn to these dark, these dark characters. Yeah. It's just really great to see him unleashing his storytelling capabilities. The vignette was beautifully edited. It was the perfect amount of creepy without being campy. And I really appreciate that. Give me more Malachi Black. I'm here for it.
You need that in wrestling sometimes, where you tread the line of reality and non-reality. And I love when they do this in professional wrestling when it's done right. And this is done correctly because it's all Malachi Black, and he's putting all his creativeness into this, and it's working. And it's created this epic character from his entrance to how he presents himself to what he does in the matches. And like the face paint thing, he tells a story with the face paint. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger until it's going to fully consume him. And I already know. I know one day we're going to get a fully face painted Malachi Black with two eye contacts, and he's going to be like fully demonic. So I can't wait.
I think, and it's funny because like we're going to get into the main event where I wanted Wyndham to come. Right, I'm a Bray Wyatt guy. He was one of my favorites. Always was. Always will be. Right, but this is me being real. I don't need Wyndham if they're going to let Malachi do this, right? Because this is how I would have presented a Wyndham, right? With these kind of vignettes, these creepy things. Now, if they get both of them, more the merrier, right? Wyndham can come, but this is exactly how I wanted them to present Wyndham if they got him, is more of like video packages, not just promos, because we know they can cut a promo, but I
Mhm.
want more of the story. Like these dark characters always intrigue
Yeah.
you to want to dive in. Like there's a weird obsession with serial killers and darkness and dark things and satanic people in our lifestyle, in our culture. We all are like, oh, let's read about it. I mean, the murder podcasts are like the top because you want to
Yeah.
know more. You want to know more. And with a
Mhm.
dark character, one that creeps you out, it's almost like you want to indulge into it. And I think last night was like a great step in presenting Malachi Black as someone you just need. You want a movie of him. You want
Yeah.
a 30-minute vignette of just Malachi, right?
You can
And
have both. Like, you can have
yeah,
both because
exactly.
look what they did. I mean, I hate treading back and talking about them too, but when they debuted Undertaker, eventually they ended up debuting Kane. That's two dark characters
Yep.
that worked in the same
Mhm.
company in their own way. So they could
I mean,
debut.
and you could bring Wyndham in as the cult leader, and it's
Yeah.
totally different, right? It's
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
But man, what that just was to me. Like everyone's talking about the match, and that match was phenomenal, right? Top 5 of the year for me. But that promo is going to do so much more for the show roster going forward. And roster, I mean, now you're bringing in Brody King. Now you're wondering what happened to Pac, Cody, Julia Hart, Malachi. There's so many moving pieces that this is going to have like ending and lasting effects on the whole roster by the
Mhm.
time it's over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's a great way to look at it. I didn't really look at it like that until you said it. But and finally, take this platform,
Yeah.
right?
I don't
Okay.
need to talk about this
MJF
match.
versus
Match was
Dante
good,
Martin.
and I'm gonna let
The
Ant
match
take
was
it away
good.
now.
It was
Dante
great.
Martin's a human cheat code, right?
Right,
Like,
yeah, it is
let's-
unreal. Like, and everybody's talking about the missed spot where it seemed like MJF was a little too close to catch him. But it's like you go out there and try to catch Dante Martin. I feel like he jumps further and further every time. It's unreal.
About 5 minutes before that, when Dante Martin landed on his esophagus,
Yeah.
like MJF took a knee to his esophagus and just
Oh,
got
yeah,
up
yeah,
and was
it was
fine.
just
Yeah, you
nuts.
know, like come on.
What we get, for people who don't know, if you're living under a rock, match ends, big fight starts to happen. FTR comes out, me and Jackie pop because we love seeing a good FTR
Hell
beat
yeah.
down. Lights cut out for a second. Ant thought it was Wyndham. Me and Jackie thought, hey, maybe it's them boys. Maybe it's the Briscoe brothers answering back because if you guys don't know, at Ring of Honor's final show, final battle, FTR came out and attacked the Briscoes, kind of teasing a feud between them and keeping it going on social media. So we don't know when that's going to pick up because, of course, Ring of Honor's shut down until April, and we don't know if it's even ever coming back. But from that, we get the lights cutting out, lights cut back on. Sting and Darby are in the ring fighting. The good thing is, before Ant completely loses his mind, is on next week's show, we're getting FTR and MJF versus Punk, Sting, and Darby, which is a huge, huge 6-man tag match, which is going to be incredible. But Ant, go ahead. Talk about that. The lights cutting out.
It's just so I think I know why they did it. It's because they wanted to have that suspense, right? Tony Khan wanted him to wanted you to be like, oh, what the fuck's happening? But like, man, Sting had his shit last year, bro. Come on. Like, don't shut the lights off unless it's gonna be Wyndham or Malachi. Like those lights went off. I stood up real quick, ready to go, ready to scream, ready to wake up the whole household. And it was Sting. Come on, man. And Darby, like, they're cool. I love them, right? I love Darby and I love Sting. Like, Sting is probably one of my top 10 favorites of all time. But we were all like sitting on the edge of our seat because it's like, how are you going to end this, right? How are you going to end Winter is Coming? Well, I guess Sting is fucking Father Winter because he must be banging Mother Nature because every time it snows, here comes Sting.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Just say, don't play with my emotions, bro. And it's cool Punk came out, right? Because everyone wants to see CM Punk.
That got
an
a big
awesome
pop.
shirt, Punk, by the way.
Because the noise got
Oh, yeah.
sucked out of the building because when the lights came on and it was Sting and Darby, I think people were expecting something bigger. But then and then they started chanting CM Punk, and then his music hit, and the building came alive again. They went nuts. So,
yeah. I mean, that crowd was great last night.
yeah.
Great crowd.
They brought it back
They were
really
really
nice
hot.
there. Yeah. And in the shirt he was wearing
Yeah.
in
Mhm.
Texas, of all
Mhm.
places.
Mhm.
Shout out to Adam. Sting and Mother Nature are about the same age.
Yo. Vicious.
Yeah, we love Sting
Yeah.
now. We do. I mean, shout
Yeah.
out to Sting. I feel bad that I was so upset that like a legend showed up.
But the
you know
balls
what I
on
mean?
CM Punk though to wear a pro-life shirt in Texas of all
In
places,
Texas,
which is
and
hilarious.
still get a
Yeah.
pop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's
Oh.
it's fantastic. But
love
any
it.
final thoughts on this main event or anything else that happened on this week's Dynamite? I'll start with you, Jackie.
No, I mean, as far as the main event, I didn't think Wyndham was coming out when the lights went out. I, like you and I, Phil, thought it was going to be a callback. Like you said, FTR appeared at Final Battle right after the lights went out. I thought it was going to be, I thought it was going to be the Briscoe brothers coming to cash a check, but no
'Cause they
such
can't
luck.
afford electric. Is that why?
Oh my god. Yeah. Anyway, but overall, like, Dante Martin, can't say enough good things about him. I hype him up every time he has a damn match. He is stellar in the ring. I'm happy to see more of him, but I don't know. Like, after starting off the night with such a bang, it felt like it needed to end with a little more oomph. But yeah, overall, no, I think it was a great show.
Any final thoughts, Kyle?
It was a great show. It looks like 2021's ending in a big way. Tony Khan was in an interview with someone this week. I can't remember off the top of my head who it was. Probably busted open. But he said that, or he was asked about, did he have any big surprises for Winter's Coming? And Tony Khan, obviously the guy, not to spoil anything, all he said was, everyone better keep an eye on AEW over the next coming weeks because big things are coming to AEW. So, I think one included, which we thought we were going to get an announcement last night, is the Owen Hart tournament we're supposed to get details for soon.
Yeah.
Whether they do like a small inserted segment on Rampage that we'll see on TV, or we'll get it next week during the Holiday Bash. But it's not out of the realm of possibility that Wyndham is still able to show up. There's going to be some big surprises over the next couple of weeks, guys.
If he didn't show up last night, I don't think he's showing up for a little bit. I know he's doing a movie, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he didn't show up last night, that's kind of a dark pay-per-view when, winter is
And I say a
coming,
couple
or
of weeks, that
dark
goes
show.
into the new year as well. So the
Yeah.
next, I'm going to say the next month and a half is going to be really
You're going to
big
get
for
O'Reilly,
AEW,
but then you
so
got to remember, like, there's going to be, like, Ember Moon's a free agent.
Johnny
like,
Gargano might pop
Johnny
up out of
Gargano,
nowhere.
like,
Yeah.
there's
Which
a-
I think
there's
he's
a lot.
AEW bound. I'm just going to say I'll be that guy. Guy just started. He started a Twitch channel the day after he
Yeah,
got.
yeah.
He left. That guy's
Started a
AEW
Twitch
bound.
channel.
He ain't
And
going
first
back.
off, go on pro wrestling tees. He has like 62 shirts up, right?
Yeah.
This
Like,
man ain't
damn,
going back
dude.
to WWE if he started
My
a Twitch
man was
channel.
counting down the days with his graphic designer,
Yeah.
just like, here you go, here you go, here you
So
go.
all I ask
he
is
was
they run back Gargano and Cole again, please. I just want those two put some of the best matches I've ever seen live and in person in NXT. And I can't wait if they eventually
Gargano
do
versus
Gargano versus
Danielson.
Bryanson.
Bryson.
Jim
I've
Ross.
just combined his two names. Oh,
my
Bryanson. God damn.
Bryanson. Yeah.
I do want to nitpick one thing though. Dante Martin was, in my eyes, getting really hot, and I think they jumped the gun on the turn thing and turning it back real quick because I think there was still a lot of juice in that story that now it's just like, okay, they just did it for a battle royal, and now Starks is going to come out and cost them that. You know what I mean? And like to me, it's like you could have drawn this out and made us all like be like, why did that? And then when his brother got back turned, you know what I mean? And then it's like, holy shit, he was just breaking them up from the inside. That's my one nitpick. I mean, I think Dante Martin's amazing, but I knew MJF was winning it. MJF's I don't think is gonna lose until he wins the title.
And James in the chat saying, wasn't there supposed to be a Tony Khan announcement last night? So I was thinking,
Yeah,
the
they
same
fired
thing.
Urban Meyer
No, but
right after he went off air.
That was the
thinking
announcement.
same thing, but in rewatching Hangman and Danielson, Tony Schiavone says, Tony Khan has an announcement for a big match coming up. That big match was the 6-man tag that got announced at the end of the night.
He knew.
Was. I mean,
He
it's,
knew it was happening. He knew.
So
it.
like, That's kind of what it was. I'm
booked
guessing,
it,
or
damn it.
at least they ran out of time and just expect us to forget it. But I don't know. Now, that's it for Dynamite. I agree with you guys. It was an exceptional show. If you guys haven't watched it already, make sure you go watch it. As far as the Rampage preview, we got Ty Conti versus Penelope Ford in a submission match, which we mentioned. We got the Super Click and Bobby Fish versus the Best Friends, or I guess Chaos now, with Orange Cassidy, Best Friends, and Rocky Romero. And then the cool match that we have Kingston, Proud and Powerful, and the Lucha Brothers versus 2.0, Daniel Garcia, and the Acclaimed, which is going to be
Everybody loves
exceptional. Everybody loves the Acclaimed, and it's going to be really cool because a lot of people want to see PNP do a little bit of an LAX reunion with Eddie Kingston and maybe take PNP away from the Inner Circle. Please, God, and they could do stuff on their own.
Please.
Right? Now, what match are you most excited to see this Friday, Jackie? Because, of course, everybody knows mine.
Yeah, but ours is going to be the same, I think.
Yeah, it's all of us are the same. It's like,
Really? The submission
hey,
match?
what podcast do you listen to on Thursday night?
Yeah, the tag match doesn't matter to me because everyone's just looking forward to next week when O'Reilly debuts.
No,
I guess you're right.
No, definitely the Ty Conti and Penelope Ford submission match. Although I am super stoked about the idea of getting Eddie Kingston and Proud and Powerful on the same damn team, because I want them to keep elaborating on that and keep doing something with that. Get Santana and Ortiz far away from the Inner Circle as possible.
Yeah, please. So now as we wind down the show.
Wine and dine.
If you guys want to support us, patreon.com/ElitePOV, where you get great shows like Top Girl Talk. You get great content like my figure collection. And did a great interview with Kyle. It's on our YouTube right now, but it's also on our Patreon.
Find out why I came here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it paid off a month later.
Yeah,
and talking about the payoff, you go to youtube.com. Do we have that official custom URL yet, Kyle? Did that go through?
I forgot to do that today.
It's all right.
Wow,
So go to YouTube and type in, go into YouTube, type in Elite POV.
All right, that's my last episode today.
Yeah. Go to YouTube.
Gonna do an exit interview with Ant after this.
See all the great content we got going. We're gonna start putting everything in playlists for you guys, so it'll be easier to find out exactly the shows you want. As announced on Top Girl Talk this week, it airs first on Patreon, but maybe a month later, a couple weeks later, it's gonna come to YouTube.
It'll be out. Not this Monday, the following Monday it'll be out.
You'll get to see it, and then make sure you subscribe. Like I said, patreon.com/ElitePOV, because you're going to want to watch these episodes live. They got a lot of great things coming up, a lot of great ideas that I cannot wait for them to get into. It is one of the best things we do. Besides this show, I think it's the best thing we do. I think Jackie is knocking it out of the park hosting shows. For somebody who just started podcasting, it blows my mind how good you are at hosting. You're about to take my job. Like, at some point, you're going to host this show. But
I do some shit show called Ran on Wrestling that if you don't want to fucking listen to, that's fine, because I just got buried on my own goddamn podcast. But you can check that shit out.
Oh my God.
Fucking thumbs down.
Ant's back. Ant's sassy tonight too. But Ran on Wrestling, Ant does great things. He had a great episode that aired last week, I think it was, right? You do it every other week, bi-weekly. Yep. It's a great time. Make sure you guys go to our YouTube channel. We have a lot of great content. Now, on our social media, at Elite POV on Twitter and Instagram, at Elite POV Clips on TikTok. Now that our years are starting to come to an end and we're gearing up for the holidays, a lot of us are starting to get time off. My work schedule is freeing up. Definitely make sure to check out our social media. We have a lot more time to kind of dive all into it and give you guys the content that you want. And if you want to see something else, make sure to tag us and stuff. Hit us up on the feed, or you can DM us if you want to keep it private and let us know what you guys want to see. And then go watch the Ty Conti interview 15 more times. Let's try to get to 1,000 views before the end of the year, right? You guys got us almost at 700 in a week. Just 300 more views. I'll give us the 100, because you know I'm gonna keep listening and watching. But Jackie, let everybody know where they can follow you.
You can follow me on Twitter at LoveYouMake24 and on Instagram at JacksTheDrawPOV.
And let them know where they can follow you, and tell everybody about the award show.
Yeah, I'm at Ant_is_elite, and you can catch the Elite POV Awards. That will be December 30th. That's going to be a long episode because we're probably going to talk some wrestling. before the award show too. So it's probably gonna be the longest episode we've ever done, but it's gonna be the most fun. Look for the link on Twitter. Go vote, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be super fun. We're gonna laugh. Hope we have you in chat. We can end this year off the right way. Check out Ran on Wrestling. We're gonna be bringing back This Is Me in January, which was a show that I used to do for Rant with Ant. It's gonna be on our Patreon where I interview different wrestling content creators and we talk about the struggles. A lot of stuff's about mental health and to bring mental health awareness, because as I think we all struggle with it, as a nation we all definitely struggle with it, but I think that it needs to be brought in the forefront of the struggle of being a content creator and how it could be positive and negative on one's mental health. And we all love a good story about a journey that will be coming. So if you are a content creator and you want to be on that show, DM me personally because I'm starting to book people for the year.
Yeah, and Kyle, let them know where they can follow you.
Yeah, next week's episode might get split into two after for audio purposes because that's going to be a long episode. We might split.
That's 2 weeks.
Or sorry, 2 weeks. Sorry, 2 weeks, not next week. I lied. I'm also going to plug a show that we missed while plugging the Patreon show. I'm going to do it in a really fun way. Watch this, guys. Snap my fingers. Bam. This is about to happen right after this show tonight. The after show is going to go down where us four sit here, talk about answer your questions that you've sent in to us. You guys can send in questions each and every single week. Could be about pop culture, could be about wrestling, could be about anything. We sit here, have fun, and have this for a Patreon exclusive show. So you guys are going to want to sign up for the Patreon and get yourselves this exclusive show that happens right after Elite POV.
You think I'm bad on this show? You think I'm bad on this show? Just wait.
But yeah, you guys can follow me at All Elite Kyle on Twitter. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's the first time us four can be on here since my debut. Just telling you guys this right now. I kind of mentioned this each and every single episode. We plan on taking this podcast into the next level, the stratosphere, whatever we want to call it. It's gonna.
Your children.
2022 is gonna be a massive year for Elite POV. So I hope you guys are gonna strap in and join us for this ride. But it's gonna be awesome. Cannot wait.
Pinnacle of podcasts.
Yes.
Hell
Pinnacle of
The
podcasts.
four
And
pillars
also
here.
Elite POV merch.com. And thank you guys for listening. If you're listening back, twitch.tv/Elite POV every 7 p.m. on Thursdays, Eastern time. You could join the live chat like so many great people are right now because you definitely want to see the shenanigans live. You don't want to have to wait to see it back later. But thank you guys for listening and or watching. We are Elite POV. I fucked up because I'm tired of shit. We are Elite POV.
God, we suck.
Why
I
did you
just
pause?
like to mess with Jackie.
Why
I like
did
to
you
mess with
pause?
Jackie. I like to mess with Jackie because she gets so upset. And remember, you don't need a
Is
hat.
Sting coming back? What is happening?
You don't need a hat to be a cowboy.
See you guys.